Before we go any further, I just want to take a quick minute of your time and just point out the fact that our boy CJ, Skull CJ, a very beloved creator within the gacha space, is going through very difficult times. His dog is very sick right now, and he has already spent thousands and thousands of dollars. It's an old dog. Unfortunately, animals tend to develop a lot of illnesses as they grow older, and unfortunately, Skull CJ's dog was no exception. He's dealing with cancer, and he's already spent thousands and thousands of dollars to keep his dog alive. He's been with him for years now, and since college, and I think CJ is more on the older side, so he's been with him. I can't remember the number perfectly, I apologize, but he's been with him for a long time, and he even considers him a son. And as someone who, it wasn't my pet, it was my mother's pet, it's easy to develop strong attachment to pets, and I can only imagine how CJ is feeling. So if you have any moment of your time and you're feeling a little bit generous, I would really appreciate if you could just go and donate to Skull CJ. The link is going to be in this video's description. The worst time of my life, let's talk. It's right here where he shows everything and talks about it. Very powerful video, I'm not gonna lie. It got me very emotional. I've already donated personally. I helped with as much as I could. I already DM'd CJ about it. He's very grateful. So any amount helps. Any amount helps. Just please, if you can find it in your heart, please help a brother out. This is the moment, the time where we as a community can come together and be there for each other. I feel like this is what all of this is truly all about.
That man is truly different.
I think it's safe to say that it's very hard to avoid critiques of Silver Palace now on YouTube. It is pretty hard to avoid, I'm not gonna lie. Everybody has an opinion, typically critical towards the gacha aspect of Silver Palace. However, we cannot deny that there is a lot of good that comes with that bad, which is a lot of people are praising the story, a lot of people are praising the gameplay. Therefore, we have a lot to look forward to when it comes to Silver Palace. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like being in the space, one of the things that I enjoy about being in this space is the conversation that we can have about the upcoming stuff, and for them to be conversations of excitement, of nerding the hell out, right? More than anything else. I think that's very important, especially to me. I'll just go ahead and speak for myself, because we're ultimately in this space to share our passion, of course, maybe find people with a common interest as our own so that we can form potential friendships with them. I feel like that's a good, solid common grounds to have, to be friends with people online. But more importantly, it's for us to have fun and excitement in our hobbies, because we can enjoy video games. They're our hobbies. And I feel like stuff like this, like upcoming games, create a lot of hype and excitement, which can make your life brighter. I think it's better to be excited than not excited and just keep focusing and harping on the negatives that a game may provide. And now, does this mean we should just ignore the negative? Hell no. But what I'm trying to suggest here is for us to have a more positive outlook on the things to come, and make sure that the negative aspects don't ruin the experience for us. Now, is Silver Palace doomed? Is it doomed to fail? The answer might be yes, and the answer might be no, depending on what they're going to do. Right now, all we can do is give our feedback and observe what the developers are going to do, which also give us a very good idea on the type of devs we're going to get in bed with. Because again, I said this before and I'll say it again, these types of game is not something you play for a couple of weeks. It's something they want you to play for a couple of months, if not a couple of years. That's typically what happens. It's a live service model game. That's typically the type of relationships most players within this space have with those games. But I have met individuals that may just log in the game on launch. They have as much fun as possible with it, especially while they still have a lot of free currency like all game launches have. They use all of those up. The moment the dryness starts, they're out. They just dip out immediately. And that is a decent approach. But for people like us that are more invested in the space or in these games, I feel like it is a very important conversation, a very important aspect to keep in mind while looking at games. Hence why we have this very critical conversation about Silver Palace. Should we be excited? I think the answer is yes. I think ultimately we do have a very good, well-polished AAA experience coming our way. No one can take that away from the game. You hear good stuff about the story. That is pretty rare in the gacha space. That's saying a lot about the things we can expect with Silver Palace. And also, most importantly, they have already, at least to a decent extent, tackled the gacha system. Originally, the guarantee was supposed to be at 120. Now we are at 100. Pity carries over. I think before it didn't used to carry over. It was like Arcanus Infield. Now Pity does carry over.
Well, at least there's that.
V from the future here. I apologize for the dark jump scare, but I forgot to mention that they also give you the 5-star Red Rose. Now, I am uncertain whether or not you can obtain her from the standard banner or not, or she's going to be a unique character, something like Chiz from NTE, because I don't think you can obtain Chiz in NTE outside of just getting her for free through playing the game. That's something unique to Chiz. That's something unique to what NTE is doing. And if Red Rose 5-star, that is probably the most hype 5-star ever since the game has been announced, being given for free for the community, and it being a unique character that you can unlock through gameplay like Chiz, tells me that they are looking at what NTE is doing, which is good news. I forgot to mention that they have made that move as well. I guess it was easy to forget, but they are doing that, and I for one think that is something very important to keep in mind, and it tells me that there is more reason to be optimistic than to be pessimistic. There are movements done, and I think we should be appreciative of those. However, we have to admit it is not enough, and the way we can appreciate it is at least to remain within the conversation. We remain interested. That's how we show that we're not leaving the story yet. The things they did allowed us to remain in the store. You know, when like you're haggling with the store owner, and then you're like, thanks for your time, and start moving out, and he's like, wait, I can give you this one, this price. And you're like, come on, it's like this is what I want. It's like take it or leave it. And now you're like, this is what I feel like where we're at. This is the best analogy we're at. We're at that stalemate. Like this is it. You're either gonna fold for me or I'm leaving the store. It's like one of the two, or I'll buy it, but I'll bring it back for a refund, and then I'll buy it again. Open box discount. And so I feel like that's the type of situation we're in right now with Silver Palace. And again, the reason why I'm making this video is because I do feel like having a more centered, disciplined mindset, more on the optimistic side than on the pessimistic side, is something I would strongly encourage and advise in times like this. For this could be a source of hype and excitement for us, the player base within the space, more so than focusing on the negatives, remaining pessimistic, remaining and holding on even more and tightly so to the sunk cost fallacy we have with the already existing titles, and can make us dangerously so more attached to them to degrees where we might start becoming a little bit blind to efforts that are being done. I feel like we should remain more centered, because I am hearing a bit of the discourse. A lot of people are throwing NTE a lot on this conversation. And whilst, yes, of course, that's a very good comparison. You're telling me, right? Me, the NTE guy, right? But I do feel like it's kind of throwing the baby with the bathwater, because a lot of people are just shutting everything down, and that can easily create a negative discourse towards Silver Palace that I think, for one, whilst in good dosages is it pretty good. Of course, we should have that considering what they're trying to do. I mean, duh, we see you think you slick, but that ain't enough, boy. The space is evolving. Get on with the times or get out. Like we are no longer the type of player base from 2021 where we're going to be dealing and still have to deal with that stuff. We have other products that are giving us that experience. You should be an upgrade to that. Hence why you're here coming into the market. A new product coming into the market is trying to do two things: either capitalize on already existing success of more popular brands. They're either trying to capitalize on them, or they're trying to create a solution to the problem by capitalizing on them. It's like it's one of the two. And I do feel like NTE has been applying both and has been well received, especially considering the lack of hype NTE has gotten through Ananta. I feel like NTE wouldn't have been received as well as it has if it wasn't for the gacha system being the way it is, considering the let's just say a lot of players have been very iffy about giving NTE a shot because they're like, well, why would I play NTE when I can just get an on-sale later? Like, why should I waste my time and money on that, especially for the spenders? So this is the kind of the situation we're in right now, and I do feel like Silver Palace have now been made aware of this, and this is where the game is going to be set and match. Are the devs going to listen? Are the devs going to be the type of devs like back in the day Kuro games that are just going to sit there, take exactly what we're saying at face value and go, you know what? And they look at the competition also, you go, you know what? Yes, we have a superior product because this game does have the ability to dominate the space hands down. It has the groundwork for that. They are copying Wuthering Waves in a lot of aspects. That's already saying a lot in their attempts to really want to dominate gameplay wise. But they do need a gacha system that is better than Wuthering Waves for them to completely dominate the space in terms of progressiveness within the space. I feel like gacha systems is a progression in terms of pro consumer from developers to us, and that is something that is much so needed because we're just burnt out. We're just tired of the standard that has already been set. Everybody's burnt out. We have been dealing with that for years because we got to realize, I mean, we all got to sit down for a second and think. We have been dealing that for years now, ladies and gents. Especially if you've been playing gachas like me since Genshin Impact, that's 6 years. Feel old yet? I'm afraid it's been 6 years, if not more. I mean, I want you to think about that for a second. That's a long ass time. And so no wonder we're just tired of that. And one might wonder, is it because of 6 years that why players are now talking? No, it's because we finally had a product that has tackled the issue that we've all been tolerating since day one. And we can see that the solution can be done. It's just a matter of willingness from the developers. And yeah, now I'm not going to fault the developers. Obviously, there's a lot of forces at play. Like I said before, there are investors. There's all kinds of decision making within the company that have different agendas on what they want the players to dev relationship to be like. And yeah, that's just going to create a little bit of discourse, and hence why they just don't go fully blind pro consumer right off the bat. They gotta try different things, see what they can get away with, so they can allow all parties within the company to be satisfied. Like they also have to meet a middle ground within the company through the middle ground with us, the players. I hope that makes some sense. And because of all these factors, I believe that we as consumers, as players, must remain disciplined and not allow the negative to get in the way of what could prove to be very, very exciting times. I'm excited for Silver Palace. I am. I know the gacha is iffy right now. I have belief. I'm more of an optimistic kind of guy, especially if you've been following me for a long time. I'm more on the optimistic side. I do believe the devs will listen. I do believe the devs will look at this and go, okay, times have changed. You know what? We got to do what we got to do. Fudge. I guess we're just late to the party. Investors, what do you want me to say? Where were y'all at all this time? Right? Y'all should have pulled up the moment Genshin Impact was there. You waited too long. The space has changed since. Damn. And then they can apply what we want. And I am really hopeful for that to happen. But even then, even if they meet us again in another type of middle ground, if the gameplay is that peak, we could have maybe a conversation about, you know, we're ready to tolerate certain things for the sake of quality. You know, kind of like you're tolerating a bit of crazy because you're dating a hot girl. We're shallow like that from time to time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. But yeah, that's just me, man. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Be seeing you.